Greetings everyone, I am RSV. Have you ever wondered how much Meseta or a whale can earn just by scratching 30 times? Well, in today's video, let's explore how much buying power money can get you in Pso2. When this new scratch came out, I bought exactly enough AC for 30 scratches. And in doing so, I earned items that were roughly worth about 25 million altogether. I could have earned even more Meseta if I rolled on a good scratch. Considering two of the items I pulled from this scratch were both just an idle animation that causes you to stand there, this directly hurt how much Meseta I earned from this scratch, and if the scratch was superior, I would have directly earned more. So, if 50 USD gets you about 25 million Meseta, how much buying power does that give a small whale or a dolphin like myself if I were to spend that much? To put this in perspective, for the strongest two augments, Addy Deft and Deft Precision, for a range set, this will cost you 25 million Meseta just to buy these 2 out of 5 augments. Mind you, you need to multiply this by 4 to apply it to every piece of your arsenal. What does this mean? This means that $50 gets you 1/4 of your meta build, pretty much. I mean, there are other augments, but the 3 of them combined, assuming you're not using Dreadkeeper, only cost about 4 million in comparison. So maybe you're knocking off only a fifth of it, but you're pretty close to just a fourth. And that's assuming you're only spending 50 USD. What if you spend 500 USD and get 300 pulls? Well, the first thing to consider is you get 10 guaranteed scratch tickets in the process by doing this, as every 30 rolls you get a guaranteed scratch ticket. On the right scratch, this scratch ticket could be worth 10 million each, or more. Mind you, the more you scratch, the more you potentially devalue these items, so you have to be careful and consider that in the process. So it might not be worth as much, but you will still buy this if that hairstyle, which it most likely is worth 10 million Meseta. You've just earned 100 million Meseta plus 300 random scratch rewards, which in my case, just 30 netted me 20 million, which could easily mean by this you earn 300 million Meseta. And I don't think $500 spent on a scratch ticket is actually that much either. There are larger whales that spend tens of thousands on games, and don't think Cinequem is out of it either. Fixer augments drive up the prices of weapons drastically. Plus, if you have the Meseta, you can get the potential for in half the time, as you only need 600 photon scales if you have the Meseta to buy the potential unlockers. Not to mention the sheer amount of market power this potentially gives a whale. If you already have 300 million Meseta, the only thing that can realistically compete with you if you decide to try to manipulate the market is another whale, especially if you're a whale that is willing to spend more. Now, I wanted to delve into a bit about, is this pay to win or not? There's been a lot of things about pay to win being temporary benefits aren't pay to win and all this jibber jab. In my eyes, if you're not considering the actual market game itself, when you look at pay to win, you're not addressing if a game is pay to win or not. If a pay to win player can manipulate and crash the market, essentially, or buy out all the things and scalp because of how much Meseta they have, then I think that this is a pay-to-win process. And this, unlike temporary player power, due to buying the Cinequem unlocker, which gets you the potential earlier, or Addy Def Mel, which you can get earlier via buying, but then you can grind out as a free-to-play player, market gains are usually permanent. Once someone really has a large amount of Meseta, it is really hard to compete with them. They are approaching having a monopoly. But that's the thing. Pso2's market is built on competition between whales. It is not built on the average player having Meseta or even being able to buy the items on the auction house. No, Pso2's economy is built on whales spending money to fill the marketplace with items. The more whales there are spending, the lower prices are. More supply for less demand, and vice versa. If there were more whales scratching right now, I'd think personally that this isn't a problem. I'd think that the game would be very fair for players. Players would be able to get everything and compete, because whales are competing with each other. They're not letting each other get a monopoly. Just remember that when you're considering pay to win, that market is part of the game factor too. If you cannot compete feasibly in the market because whales can suddenly generate weeks of Meseta gain, well then there's a problem now, isn't there? I should mention that Deafness Free is currently about 66k a pop. This was mean to get even close to that amount. That 20 million I got just by spending 50 USD, I'd have to get 300 Deafness Free, which is a lot to consider consider. And that's a lot of grinding that not all free-to-play players will be able to do. I am aware of the thrift method of grinding for deafness free, but the more people that do it, the lower the price of deafness free will reasonably get. But at the end of the day, does any of this matter? Doesn't matter if Pso2's market is pay to win. As long as you can have fun with it, as long as you can have fun in general, no, it is perfectly fine if it's pay to win, as long as people can have fun with it. Does it matter for player retention and attracting new players? Yes. Players seeing that the game has pay to win aspects will hurt the game in the long run. Not all players are attracted to these things, and not all whales are attracted to pay to win either. As part of this video, I just wanted to get that perspective out there. Pay to win is a very, very huge topic right now in MMOs in general, as well as just complaining about games in general, which I find very, very stupid. Otherwise, I've been RSV, and I will see you next time.